I'm going to record. Can I record it?
Yeah. Hey there, everybody. We're just getting all of our...
Can I record it?
Here we go. I think we're all set. We're just getting all of our technology straight. You all know the drill by now, I think, about how we roll here with this cosmic chat. So, okay. Amalia, Natalio with Karmic Kindness, and Madelaine Parker.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're so excited to share with you this Libra full moon, which is happening on the 16th for me on the East Coast, and I think on the 15th for you, Madelaine, in the West. Is that true, or am I making that up?
I was going to look on the exact time. Let's see. It's supposed to be on the 16th. So I think it's like on the evening of the 16th.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay. So you can look at that. Well, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the...
Yeah, it's exact here at noon, right at 11:56 a.m. on Pacific Standard Time on the 16th.
Okay, so maybe I was confusing the new moon in Aries, because that I think was around midnight, 11 in some places and 3 a.m. in other places. So great. I wanted to just briefly touch in on the new moon in Aries, which was on I believe the 1st of April. And yeah, to kind of touch base with everyone on the cycle of energy that began at the beginning of the month, that we're now going to be transitioning into a new energy with this full moon in Libra. So Aries energy is fire, it's action oriented. However, as Madelaine shared in the last cosmic chat, we had a lot of other planetary energies that were affecting the new moon. So even though Aries tends to be one of like action, there was a little bit of like, slow down, take a look around, be aware. There was like this awareness energy, pay attention to things. Now, with Libra, we're also in a masculine sign, but now instead of fire, we're in air. So that can be mental. It's also connected to the 7th house of relationships. So this new moon will be really rather interesting, because if there was anything that came up during that Aries new moon, when it comes to, okay, I'm aware of some things, maybe you started taking some action, and maybe that action needs a little bit of a tweak. This full moon is going to highlight that. And it's also from my research and understanding, and I'm excited to hear what you have to share on this, Madelaine. There may be some conflicts and tensions coming to the surface as well during this particular full moon cycle that will highlight areas, because we have the full moon energy of your life where you may need to bring in more balance, where you may need to create a boundary, or maybe soften a boundary. Maybe you need to speak up in some way. Maybe there's something in your mind that you're mulling over, you're working through, and there might be an inner tension that pushes you into a different direction, or pushes you to speak or say something. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about all of that, but I just wanted to check in with everyone and see where they are as far as what you might have been experiencing. And let me pop over to the other window so I can take a peek and see if anyone has any comments they want to make in the chat with us today. So, if you please do let us know what what's coming up for you right now. If there's something that you want to share related to this moon. Okay, so let me move this over. I'm going to try to get all these different windows open so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to also, I've been giving some feedback from people while they love our videos so much.
Okay.
It can be a lot of information, and sometimes they don't want to watch the whole thing to find their sign. So I created these little signs to hold up at specific times as we're talking, so that if you want to go back and just find your specific sun, moon, or rising sign, and sorry, I've got noise again over here. Can't seem to escape it. You can just use the little toggle fast forward, and you can, as soon as you see yours pop up, then you'll know, okay, this relates to me. Did you
and
want to say
also,
something, Madelaine?
well, yeah, if you've watched it and you see your sign, go ahead and put in one of those, I forget what you call it. It's blanking out of my head. You know, a little, you type in the time and then put the sign next to it so people can click on it in the comment section too. So like if you watched Cancer, put in the time. What do you call it? The clink, timestamp.
Timestamp. Yeah, I was saying it, but I was muted. That's funny. So good, you got my message.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That's so true. So that's right. Everybody's supporting each other, you know. So if you find where yours is, pop it in the comments, and that way everyone else can find it too, which is great. And I apologize for the fact that that's one extra step that I just do not have time to take. So so if we can support each other, that'd be awesome. Great idea, Madelaine. And then one other thing I wanted to mention as you're watching this, if you don't know what your sun, moon, or rising sign is, go to either astro.com, cafeastrology.com, astro-charts.com, and put in your birth time, your birthplace, and your birth date, and it will give you a chart, which also will highlight exactly what you're looking for. It'll say what your sun, your moon, and your ascendant, which is your rising sign, are. You don't have to be able to decipher the chart to find it. So if you're looking for those charts and you don't know where to find them, that is the one of those is the place to go. So all right, let's see. I think we've covered a lot already in these first few minutes of the cosmic chat. Madelaine, do you want to share a little bit about the overarching energies?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this Aries sun and the sun's going to be in Aries and the moon is going to be in Libra. So we have this polarity going on. So usually there's going to be, and then plus we're squaring Pluto. So there's going to be conflicts and things coming to the surface. Plus we also have Uranus conjuncting Mercury. So surprise communication, potentially triggering people, triggering their fears, and, you know, showing up, like you were saying, what's out of balance in our energy field, because Libra is all about balance. It's also about close personal relationships, contracted relationships. It's the 7th house. It's about peace. It's about harmony. So it's basically going to trigger out of you any sort of energies in your psyche that are low frequency, that are fear-based in relationships or fear-based around choices, contracts, because Libra is all about commitment, making contracts. These are relationships that are contracted. It could be even a relationship with a lawyer or someone like that, but there will be some kind of information coming out. Also in the collective, out in the news, there might be surprising information right now that triggers, because anytime you get a Pluto square, you're going to trigger your deep issues. Some deep issues are coming up. It's already happened to me. I got triggered already. But you know what?
Oh no.
Yeah, but I have it all over my chart. I've got Mars. Also Mars, beautiful though, is Mars, which rules the sun, because the sun is in Aries right now. So Mars is the rulership, is in Pisces. So I think after this I think a lot of people I know have already been triggered, because I've been getting all these people asking me for reads. So that people have gotten triggered. So then now things are going to calm down and there's going to be a peace and balance, and you will have purged a lower frequency density energy that's really kind of holding you back from this connection in this relationship, or holding you back from committing in an area that the universe wants to push you towards committing to, because that's what the stars are doing, is they're trying to help us align. I know there's a big discussion if it's free will or not, but you can either resist the change or you can go with it. But the stars are trying to influence you to go the right way and to make more aligned decisions, and especially with the masculine energy within us and in the collective, because Mars going into Pisces now, the masculine energy has seen its wayward ways, shall we say, the ways that have only done it harm and stressed it out. And because if you notice in your right side body, everybody may notice this. They may notice stress and tension in their right side body in the last couple of weeks, because we had Mars conjuncting Saturn, and Saturn is squaring the nose. So out of alignment male energy is coming up to the surface, which is stress-based, fear-based actions that play out in your right side body. So now Mars is in Pisces. I hope that's clear. I feel like I don't want to be confusing, but Mars moving into Pisces is calming that right side body male energy within us, calming our action motives to one of being more wanting to raise the vibrations and make the world a better place, because it's in the sign of Pisces, which is Jupiter. So it's sort of a romantic energy. We'll see. I'm going to pull cards up on this one because I'm really curious about it, because the Mars energy in the sign of Pisces at the same time as a full moon in Libra is kind of romantic.
So I'm feeling like you threw a lot of stuff out for people to digest if they don't know much about the planets and the energies. So if I might just summarize for those who are like, I don't know what the heck Madelaine just said. Like, it sounds pretty good, but I'm just not sure. I think kind of the basic gist of it is in the last couple of weeks, we've had the masculine part of ourselves really activated and maybe overstressed and taxed a bit. And now going into this next 2 weeks cycle, it's going to be softened, and there's more feminine energy coming in that's going to be very supportive of that overly taxed, overly stressed masculine within each of us. So like
calm, that Pisces that was watering down. If you think of fire, Mars is fire. Mars rules Aries, the sun. So we're really looking at watering down that fire energy so that it's intuitively guided, so that it's not firing out of self-will. So it's not firing out of selfishness. Instead, it's now joining Jupiter, Neptune, and Venus. We're having stellium now in Pisces, which is so spiritual. So it's really Mars is aligning to join forces with these other planets in Pisces, which are all about spiritualism right now and following a higher consciousness path and creating a higher consciousness reality. And which is Mars is grounding that. So Mars is now joining in to align with that and not go on so much self-will.
So why don't you show the Madelaine, if you don't mind showing the chart for the full moon, and then maybe people can see how when Madelaine's talking about a stellium, she's talking about a grouping of planets that are all in one sign. And she's showing, if you want to point that out to them, Madelaine, just use your cursor with the Pisces stellium.
I'm going to put everything into whole sign here so you can see it's all in one. Wherever everybody has Pisces covering their chart is where the stellium for me, right here in Sandpoint, actually in my own personal chart, it's in the 9th house, but where I am, I guess it's in the 9th house, but don't worry about the houses because that's determined on where you are location wise. Exactly. So now we're look at that. We have Mars just right now today. It's at 0 degrees. See, 0 degrees means it's just entered. Okay. Yesterday was 0 degrees. It's right on my moon. My moon is 1 degree Pisces. So I know. So we have Venus, there's Mars in Pisces, there's Venus in Pisces, there's I call it Nupiter. It's Neptune and Jupiter conjunct. Because I'm doing so many reads with people about what's Jupiter and Neptune doing in their charts. I had to just call it Nupiter. Because
I love it. Nupiter. You're going to create that. You've just, what am I trying to say here? You created a whole new thing. I love it. That's awesome. And
Nupiter is going to be together until mid-May. Then Jupiter is going to take off. Well, early May, Jupiter is going to take off into Pisces, but Neptune's still going to be at high degrees Pisces. So it's still going to be impacted by Jupiter until it moves really further ahead, not to confuse. But anyway, there's Jupiter and Neptune together, Pisces and Mars. Now Venus is going to join in here at the end of the month, which is going to be magical. These energies are magical this month. This is going to be the most sort of magical time. And I guess this sort of Aries busyness, that action based, I know for me personally, there's quite a bit of new stuff happening. A lot of sprouts, little opportunities are sort of sprouting up. And I'm sure everybody's noticing that in their lives because it's coming up in all my reads. I keep getting the Page of Pentacles in all my reads, which is like opportunity coming. So this is a really opportunistic time. Lots of little buds of opportunities coming. But with all these planets, stellium in Pisces, which means there are a clump of them in Pisces, is really, we're going to say, spiritually motivated, higher calling motivated I mean, it's downside, shadow side. People could go, if you're really operating in your shadow energies, you could very much go into a massive escapism period where you really escape. Shadow side Pisces is to escape. And then Mars in Pisces, you might become fanatical about something too, you know. So it's like Mars is a go energy, but I think the majority and the collective is going to upgrade in their action based. I think we are waking up to a lot of things socially. I'm seeing it pretty much all over social media. People are really aware of breaking free from the matrix paradigm, which is just really that limiting belief that we can, because when we had that Jupiter Saturn conjunction in December 21, 2020, it really was people stepping out and starting their own, working for themselves, doing their higher calling, which is going to fix the world. Because if everybody does their higher calling, the world is going to get better. It's going to be fixed. So really, you're getting this sort of mass awakening to people going, you know what? There is something I've got, a gift I've got that can help raise the consciousness of the planet, or raise the life, quality of life for the people, which is going to help. And it's going to be spiritualism, because we've been in a very materialistic era, and masculine reign is very materialistic. It fuses with material. Now we're shifting to a more ethereal spiritual, because we are so out of balance, as you were just saying, in our masculine energies, which means we're fear-based, which is out of balance, very materially seeking security through material. So now we're going to shift to knowing our security is actually based in our relationship with spirit and the higher realms and our higher soul and ourself. That's our path to abundance. And for the greater good, the greater whole, good for the, you know, what is good for the greater whole. That's the energy of Pisces, of Jupiter and Pisces, is everybody doing their calling. That is in fact not selfish based. That is based on what the universe really needs right now, what the earth needs, what we all need.
So,
yeah.
So Madelaine, one thing I wanted to add to what you were saying too, I think has kind of come into my awareness recently, and I don't know if you want to stop sharing screen while we're just talking here, is the you know, there's, you and I have talked about having the sense of, for the greater good, for the collective, you know, each of us realizing this. And I think that is so true. Well, something else that's been revealed to me recently is also about, in order to do that, we really have to be aligned with ourselves first. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important for people to realize, like, how often, and I want to say this for women in particular, we put other people's needs over our own, because we're doing it for the greater good. We're doing it for the, you know, the protection or love for our partner, our children, someone else. And I think what strikes me right now that's so important is that it's important that we look out for ourself. Kind of the concept, which I feel like is so overly used, but such a great analogy, is, you know, put your oxygen mask on before putting on another's. Right. So really getting in tune with and lined up with, okay, who am I? What do I need? What are my desires? What are my dreams? What feels good to me? Then you know how you can make a difference. Because if you're lining up with, for the greater good, I go over here and do this, but I really don't like it. I'm just doing it because I feel like I have to. Isn't really
on the wrong path.
Exactly. So it's about lining up with, like, okay, I love, let me come up with something. I love helping the planet Earth. I love anything that has to do with being green, with being, recycling, reusing. So for me, I might line up with, volunteering at with an organization that goes and cleans up the beaches. Now, if, I love things that are earth related, but I'm also like, well, so-and-so is over here working at this homeless shelter, which is a really wonderful thing, but it doesn't necessarily align with my passion at the moment. Not saying you can't, but it's almost like your energy is going to be best served where it aligns with you the most.
Yep. And the whole thing of Jupiter, just one of the things I love to do in my sessions is to help people understand their Jupiter placement and what their true Jupiter calling is, because that's actually where you fill your cup. That's actually it fills your cup, and it's what you want to do, and you'll put in the extra hours into it because it's your passion, and it'll fire you up, and the thing that feeds you about it. Because like I just got an email today from somebody. I got 2 emails today from people that I read for that told me the reads came true. It really helped them through a loss situation. Because what happens is, like, when I do my reads, what I'm giving them is the best case scenario that they can materialize here in this situation, and so I'm helping them pull into a better reality, and it fills my cup to see them get through it better. I mean, it really fills me up. I have to charge because I have to pay my mortgage, but if I didn't, I'd probably do it for free. So your Jupiter calling when you feel the drive to do it. It's like you want to do it. It's not a bore. If it's boring or taxing or feels like hard work, you're on the wrong path.
Exactly. Okay, so let's just jump in now. So here we go. So here, I'm going to hold up our sign. Okay. And speaking of Earth, this is all paper that I reuse. So it's like totally on it. All right.
Good. All right. Let me pull my little chart up. I'm not going to share it because it's very boring to look at, but I like to use it because it helps me align with all the houses and orientation for each side. So starting with Aries, this is going to be interesting. This is definitely going to be a relationship shift. Full moons, if you're not in the right relationship, will most likely break it apart in your 1st and 7th house. Plus, don't forget, we have an eclipse coming up at the end of the month, which is going to be in there, which is in the sign of Taurus. So we are looking at cardinal changes right now with this full moon. Cardinal changes means like 45-degree turns. Right. Yeah. So with Aries, it's going to be in your 7th house. So expect powerful shifts and changes in your relationship status, possibly committing. I'm going to pull cards for Aries, possibly taking a relationship up or ending one. And because don't forget, we've got that Jupiter, we've got that Uranus conjuncting Mercury. So information's coming in that might surprise you, squaring Pluto with that full moon that triggers you or makes you know you're in the wrong relationship, or that an issue is going to come up that needs to be resolved, that then aligns you in the right way and brings balance to your relationship. And your ego is going to be involved because the sun always, in my opinion, represents ego. So these triggerings really are about offending your ego, and and Aries are the most egoistic sign. They're the most heads.
Yes.
So it might be a real brutal blow to the ego, but it's going to be what's good for you. Getting a blow to the ego is not bad for you. It's good for you. You feel more empowered afterwards in a weird way. So for Aries, we get the 3 of Wands, we get the 5 of Cups, Tower card. So it's possible you are, and then that eclipse is hitting in your 8th house. Taurus is in your 2nd and 8th, Scorpio 8th. So sexual relationships toxic relationships are going to go kaboomba. You're going to realize, especially Aries, because it's ruled by Mars. And with this Mars going into Pisces and then happening at this full moon, you're going to become very aware of out of alignment relationship choices that don't last the future. We are looking at committing for the future because we've got Jupiter and Venus conjuncting Neptune, which is higher callings, usually involves your relationship. You're usually co-projecting. That's what Libra is all about, contracts with people. So breaking contracts that aren't right, that aren't aligned with you, that you made out of alignment, not heart-based, because Venus is in the picture. So everybody's spiritual, true, connected, spiritual soulmate type relationships in.
So I just wanted to address the Tower card ever so briefly, because the Tower card often has a really bad rap. I mean, even I had a visceral reaction to it, but it really isn't bad. It's just one of those things. I think sometimes we as humans, we really need to have things shaken up a bit for us to actually take action. And I did a webinar a couple of years ago with a group of people, and we talked about the Tower card in life and how it can be beneficial. And I'm going to put the link in the description for anyone who might want to check that out. I think it's about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, and you can kind of go through and pick and choose what it is that you might want to take from it. But it was really, really helpful. And we shared some of our Tower moments, what that looked and felt like, and what we did to move through that time a little bit more easily. So that might be helpful for any Aries and Libra folks out there
Any tower you go through right now is breaking apart a structure that's not sustainable. You want it to come down because it's not, you were making it Aries, that Aries new moon, you might have been making it out of head choice, not heart choice. That's where we're getting this Mars in Cancer. This is going to come, Mars in Pisces is going to come up a lot. Water sign, masculine energy, out of alignment, realizing it's led you unhappiness, because if you run away from what's in your heart choice, you're eventually going to be unhappy because your soul is your heart and you're out of alignment with your soul. You're going to get depressed. So Aries are going to be realigned to the right relationship that's ruled by Mars. They're ruled by Mars. So heart space, you're going to be very connected to how they feel. All right.
Which may be uncomfortable for Aries. Okay, so now let's move into Taurus.
Taurus are going to have this new moon in the 12th house, Aries. The sun is in their 12th house and the moon is in their 6th house. So health issues could come up. They're going to be probably feeling very introspective while this is going on. They're going to learn what's out of balance in their, again, I'm going to say it could be information about their relationship that shifts, that they start a new relationship. Let me pull cards for that. That makes them change their day-to-day life, because the 6th house is day-to-day routines, but also their health and how they take care of themselves. Like let's say you're married and in a relationship, you discover your spouse has an illness and you both decide to go on a health retreat and go to the country, 12th house. But basically for Taurus, world card, karma clearing, 12th house. Wow, cards are great. So that's the house of clearing karma, of like clearing out your sort of shall we say, staticky energy in your system that is not helping you, that could cause you to be sick, but clearing this karma. And there's that Virgo energy, the 6th house, inspiring on a day-to-day level. So in other words, making sure that you do a life that's more inspired and not taking safe choices, because that's happening with this whole Neptune energy. We're stepping out of alignment choices, which is fear-based choices, into faith-based, kind of more in trust, in abundance choices. So this is alignment. There's that 6th house working in a way that is inspiring, clearing your karma, moving forward. So in other words, for Taurus, you're going to be shifting, because you've also got the North Node in your 1st house. So health is a big thing for Taurus right now, because this is a very health paradigm, North Node, shifting our health paradigm. And I think Taurans are going to change their day-to-day routines and they might do it with their relationship, and they maybe join a gym, or they really start a new health routine, or they get into a new relationship, a contracted, serious personal relationship, if you're single, that you then changes your day-to-day life.
So day-to-day change is the key, is the name of the game of this for Taurus. Yeah,
because you're going to have that Libra moon in your 6th house. So, you could also get into a relationship with someone at work, or you could start a business with someone, or start working with somebody, but it could be in a job situation, a romance starts, and your life changes, but also all of these relationships that start now with this Venus conjunct, Venus coming up to Jupiter, is going to be highest, best relationship for you. Like, this is going to be divine relationship. So you might get into a divine relationship that then you become motivated to take more health and be healthier together, or you just let your life changes. Could just be that.
Nice.
12th house, again, awakening to knowing what a spiritual connection really is and wanting that spiritual connection. Love is ethereal, not material. Everyone's going to wake up to that during these conjunctions.
Beautiful. All right.
Gemini. So Gemini, you have Libra in your 5th house, which is super duper relationship. You're definitely going to be getting into a relationship. And if you're in a relationship already, you're going to start a creative project with your relationship. You're going to start, a friendship could turn into a relationship. But also you could start a relationship that doesn't last, because sometimes the 5th house is kind of frivolous. But with that Pisces energy going on in your 10th house, you're going to join mission in a creative project with somebody, most likely. And Libra is a sign of writing. So you may get into a writing project, but you've got Aries in your 11th house, the sun. So you might meet a whole new group of people. So let's pull some cards for Gemini so I don't forget. Knight of Pentacles. You're going to realize you're going to take, because I get the Knight of Pentacles on you guys. So it's basically, you're going to probably let go of relationships that are not in alignment, because I get this, not what you want. And then this is creative project. So you're going to figure out how to go forward with something that does inspire you with what you want. But I would say that you end relationships that don't align with, don't forget, we got the South Node in Scorpio, which is coming up on this eclipse. So everyone's going to probably be letting go of toxic relationships, toxic habits. So it's possible Gemini having Scorpio in their 8th house. I'm sorry, no, I'm wrong. Gemini, where does Gemini have Scorpio? Where does Gemini have Scorpio? In their 6th house. So they might be letting go of unhealthy habits, unhealthy things. So for Gemini, let's pull one more on that. So knowing what's truly in your heart, that's the 5th house, Leo. That's so interesting. So really becoming familiar and knowing what is truly a relationship that you want from a spiritual perspective, that has a connection, that's soulful, and that you can take on creative projects and commit to them, because Gemini have a hard time committing.
I know a few Geminis that might agree or not agree with that. I'm not
they
sure.
might get defensive about it.
Yeah. Okay. Cancer, we ready to move on?
Cancer. Woo. All right. Cancer, you guys all have Pisces in your 9th house. But this Libra is in your 4th house. So something, contract around a property could come in for Cancer. A contract around your property that could turn into a long-term commitment of some sort, or contract, like for instance, I might be selling half my property and I have a person that I know. So it would become a relationship, contracted relationship involving my property. I haven't decided to do it 100%.
So I'm sorry, Madelaine, let me pause you one sec. So are we in you said this is in the
fourth. So Cancer rising have Libra in their 4th house.
Okay. So Libra 4th. Okay. And then the sun in their 10th, correct?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
You might get into a contracting around properties. You might buy a property. You may start a relationship with a real estate agent that becomes a long-term person that you work with around your property investments, selling of properties, gaining properties, but friendships or personal relationship. You could get into a relationship because you've got the sun in your 10th house. Career is very lit up right now for Cancer. Very, very much the time for Cancer rising, because they've got the sun in their 8th house, in their 10th house. Pisces in their 9th. So it's career is very activated around spiritualism, which is true, because I'm about to do retreats. They all booked too. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
I know we only have 1 seat left. And what's funny was I gave the read to this person in January, and she was Aries rising, and they're very bold. And I was like, yeah, no, this is going to be really good for you to do something very spiritual like this. Her chart was really lit up around spiritualism, a new path. And I didn't expect her to just jump in and do it like radically. She was like, she did. And she's selling the seats for like $1,500. And I was just like, whoa. And now they're all sold practically except for one. And I'm going to be in the retreat. I'm going to be the astrologer. We're going to be pulling charts. So if you're interested in one of these retreats, do message me. Let me know, because I will tell you, because we're going to be doing more. And this is a more involved relationships. So like, for instance, that relationship might turn into a contracted relationship with her, with me, where we really, this is highlighting your career house. So, this is going to be relationships, and retreats, we are looking at properties to rent out to do this. And so, basically for Cancer rising, this is going to impact career and shift career, but it's going to be even more involved spiritually, because it's all this stuff is in your 9th house, which is a very lucky spiritual house.
Nice. Wow.
I didn't pull cards for Cancer. Let me pull cards for Cancer.
Cards.
The Leo card comes up for Cancer. Justice, the Libra card comes up. Wow. So basically, we've got this Leo card means, and this is balanced into heart space more ending negative cycles. And there's that spiritual awakening card, the Neptunian energies, the Pisces energies, ending. These are two endings. So like ending negative thinking and ending. Cancer have been on a journey to really release karmic attachments. And so they're really letting go of like attachment issues and stepping much more into a relationship with spirit, their soul, and ending sort of attachments to things. I mean, you know, the heart space is very strong here for everybody. Everybody's really connected to intuitive knowing, and right now with these planets. Yeah. So for Cancers, we have a real strong sense of direction. Everyone's going to have a strong sense of direction right now, which is great.
That is great. And that feels really good. I think for most people, for a lot of people, I think it's been, myself included.
Yeah.
You know, you have a moment of, oh, I know what to do. And then you start to do it. And then you begin to get scared, or something happens and then you question it. And so it, you know, if you're following what your inner guidance is telling you, your IGS versus, you know, your GPS in your car,
I like that.
You're going to go exactly where you need to go for your highest and best, and the highest and best of others around you too. Like that's the other piece of it.
Because with all of these planets in Pisces, it really is non-action in a way, because it's a receptive energy. So the more receptive and flow you are, the more you're going to get lined up to the right thing. You just got to really let go, release, relax, and just flow, and let the universe kind of guide your boat to where you're supposed to be. The more you surrender right now, the better. And if you get triggered and you feel pain, just try not to act on it. Just let the pain ride out. Just ride it out. You know,
it's always fleeting. It's always fleeting.
Yes, because, you know, all of us are going to get triggered at some level in some way. That's going to trigger our fear that's in us, that shows us that we've been activating out of fear base.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Okay, Leo, the sun, you are ruled by the sun. Cancer is ruled by the moon, by the way. So Cancer is going to get a lot, you know, full moons are active, very strong for Cancer and Leo. So Leo, you guys have Libra in your third house, communication with that Uranus conjuncting Mercury. There's most likely surprise communication. If you've been in a relationship from someone from the past, you might hear from them. It might surprise the heck out of you. It may trigger you. You have Pluto in your sixth house. But let's take a look at Aries. Aries is in your ninth house. You could travel. Information come in that you travel with a spouse, if you're married with your spouse. The World card comes up. Again, for Libra, where are we? Who are we on? Leo. Sorry. So Aries in your ninth house is a good house to have Aries, and to have the sun there, which is traveling, higher consciousness, higher knowledge, opening up your mind to new ideas, transformational energies all around here. Nice. Knowing really, again, like I say, a strong connection. Leo are heart-based. They're going to get really clear. There's this karma clearing with this Neptune energy. What do we call it? Trying to remember the word where we release, we're really releasing things, letting go of things that are not heart-based, that don't make us happy. And then look at this, clearing karma, knowing what makes you happy and really going for it. Leo are going to have a real activation of clarity of what they want to go for. And then I get this heart, the Ace of Cups. So something that's really in their heart for Leo. They're going to be, everyone looks like they're getting, I keep pulling that Leo card out. Everyone's getting activated by that intuition, the soul, which is really connecting to heart as well. And there's that water sign masculine.
Wow.
I know, message is going to be kind of repeat, but
it just, I think, gives us confirmation and validation of the energies that seem to be surrounding this particular cycle.
Yeah. And then they've got Pisces, these energies, Pisces in their eighth house. So either blessings and finances from outside sources, or a strong, deep, passionate sexual relationship could open up with this energy. Yeah, because I get the Knight of Cups. Look at all these winning, victory, a victory in love for Leo too, that they had to turn away from. That's why I thought the third house being Libra, information, communication coming in from somebody that surprises you from the past that you had to turn away from because there was attachment issues.
Could that be related to, is it that soul kind of love, or could it be related to, yes. Okay.
Yep, because of Pisces energies right now. Anything that
Gotcha.
happens while Venus is in its exaltation is going to be good. It's going
Okay.
to be a true love.
Gotcha.
Okay. And we are getting true love cards here for Leo. So that's pretty
All right.
cool. Yeah.
Leo's out there. I'm already in mine, so I'm good.
Oh, good. Yeah. So then if you're already in a relationship, surprising communication coming in that you sign some kind of a contract or ninth house, or you travel, together, or you become joint in a spiritual pursuit.
Never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher consciousness, ninth house, new belief systems, opening up, information coming in that changes your belief about something, that motivates you to go more spiritual, take your cause more, be out there more. But also the ninth house is very lucky. So a lucky thing could happen that opens you up, that also changes your mind, ego, pulls out of it, all of that.
All of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Virgo.
So let's see Virgo.
Let's pull in some cards for Virgo. Ooh, Nine of Wands for Virgo. So they've got Libra in the second house. So now I pull out the Five of Pentacles for Libra. That's Libra in the second house. So Libra in your Virgo has Libra in the second house, Aries in their eighth house, relationship houses in Vedic second house is ruled by Venus. It's Taurus, so it's kind of can be a relationship house. So that's going to be nice for Virgo. They may hear surprising information, communication that surprises them, that they may shift and change the way they earn their money, and it may involve a relationship or a contract with a relationship. They may go into joint project with a mate that earns money, or it could just be a relationship with somebody that you have a contract with. You could decide to become a lawyer and make more and join a business, a law firm, and sign a contract, and now you're making money in law. Maybe I'm being creative with it. But then in the eighth house with Aries could be crazy, passionate sexual relations coming in where you're really passionate and connected, but also you could get very lucky without, you could take actions to secure finances from an outside source, because Aries is the outside source of polarity. You might be getting into a debate with another person as to whether you should use your own resources or whether you should go to outside sources. With Aries, the sun, you might be very bold and take initiative to get loans and things to start possibly a business, or because this is Libra is all about contracted relationships. So I do get this awakening card. So I think you're going to shift the way you make money in a way that's more balanced, that's not fear-based, that's emotionally fulfilling. You've got Pisces energy in your seventh house. Very good chance you're going to get into a very divine relationship. So that changes the way you work. Maybe you change jobs. Aries in your eighth. And become very passionately involved physically. So a lot of good stuff there for Virgo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get mission with your divine mate. Realizing what it is, realizing that it fills your cup. It could involve also travel, because Jupiter in everybody's chart, by the way, Jupiter represents travel. So it could be travel with a mate, a divine mate, your true person.
Yeah. All right.
Libra. You guys. Now you've got the Aries in your seventh house and this full moon in your first house. So you're going to become, and it's at 26 degrees. So wherever you have, if you've got, I know somebody who has their ascendant at that degree. So there's a good chance a relationship situation is going to majorly shift, but it's going to come with a big awakening because it's in your first house about what's out of balance and what choices you're making out of balance. There's Aries energy and making choices superficially. Libra have the tendency to make superficial choices because they are so mental, and the Aries energy again in the seventh house is mind, head space. So you do have a strong sort of mental energy around relationships. Libras love relationships. They always want to be in relationships. You're very hard to find a single Libra. Usually if they're in a relationship, they sort of hop to the next one. There's not much single time. But they are definitely going to wake up with this because, Libra, you have Mars ruling your seventh house. So you're going to start shifting to a more spiritually based choices in your relationships and contracting with them. You see here, look, this is very much Aries energy, out of alignment, headspace, out of alignment, male energy, making choices on superficial, because these are out of alignment. How I do my reads is I put person in the middle. So these are out of alignment, superficial, out of alignment choices. Now looking for something spiritual that lasts, that you can really dig into, a relationship that can really take the, oh, wow, Tower card. Wow. Okay.
Oh, another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to be, Libra, going to be ending relationships that are superficially based.
How interesting, Madelaine, because the Tower card came out on Aries.
That's true.
And that's the polarity. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, you're right.
Very interesting.
So both Aries Libras are getting this in their houses. So if you, and Aries' tendency to be in the headspace, ego-based choices, what they look like. Libra makes choices about how they look a lot of times. And they like to create a pleasant, picture. And so it looks like that's coming crashing down if you've made choices that are not heart-based in your relationships, and it's coming down if it's the wrong one. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, I think, and I'm not Libra or Aries in tropical, so I can't, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I can't speak to this. I am in Vedic, but that's kind of irrelevant here.
You are? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but what I think is fascinating is this is actually a beautiful opportunity for you. It's like you have this cosmic support that is going to shake things up, and it may be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But on the other side, oh my gosh, you have no idea how amazing and magical life is going to be. So if you can just keep that in perspective.
Because we think we know what choices to make. The headspace making choices is ego-based, and it isn't necessarily for our highest good. Our highest good is heart-based, soul-based choices. So they're the ones that tend to make the most superficial choices in relationships. So that's coming down. You're going to have to let go of somebody that was just image. 10 of Pentacles comes up with sort of imagey, or because it looked good, or they look good, or, coming down, kaboomba.
All right. So now let's go into the deep waters of
Scorpio. We are going to have this eclipse at the end of the month here in your first house. And Taurus is your seventh house. So you, Scorpio, are going to go through relationship shifts and big time in this month with this eclipse in their seventh and first. So let's see. So with their Libra is their 12th house. So probably clearing karma around attachments and choices in relationships. Aries is in their 6th house that were unhealthy. Scorpio, they're letting go of unhealthy choices in general around who they are completely. And with Pisces in their 5th house, divine relationship could very well come into play here, and a creative project with divine relationships, but also shifting a relationship. Because then we got, okay, Libra is in your 12th house, and then Aries is in your 6th house. So you're leaving sort of, let's take a look. So in other words, you're going to be releasing, I want to say, let's try that again. What is that releasing? Oh no, Scorpio's, Aries is 6th and Libra 12th. So again, that's a karma clearing house, and sort of like a forgiving house, and sort of going inward and becoming aware of out of balanceness in their relationships. If you're in a steady relationship, you're just going to become very intuitively tuned in to what your actions have been that have been unhealthy on a day-to-day level towards your relationship. But you could also very well come into a contracted work situation with that relationship, because Libra, but also you're going inward to get higher guided on what that is, but you are going to become less fear-based in your choice, and you're going to shift some sort of decision around relationships that are more really higher, let me sort of like higher motive. Here's the 6 of, so basically there's lovers. So you're going to be, if you're not in a relationship, you're not in the right relationship, you're going to shift to, you're going to wake up to who that person is, who the right person is, because you've got that eclipse. If you're in the right relationship, you're going to let go of some sort of negative karmic pattern or negative belief system that's blocking the true path that you guys are supposed to go in. So in other words, there's some issue in your relationship you've got to end, some kind of negative blocking in the relationship you're going to purge so that things can go forward the way you are supposed to go forward in your path together. Because of that sixth house, you've got Pisces in your fifth house. So some could get pregnant with the right person or take a creative project forward, and fears, really releasing the karmic fears that are holding you back from some sort of joint mission with your partner. And Aries is taking action, bold action that's going to shift your day to day. You could start a new spiritual practice with this spouse. If you're in a good one, you become more healthy and something together, because sixth house is going to be like healthy routines. And then Libra in your 12th house, you could go on a retreat, a health retreat with your partner, and it really bonds your partner more. But then again, you got Pisces in your fifth house. So if you're not in a relationship, you're going to get into your true relationship and clear the karma that's stopping you from getting into a true relationship. But also if you're in a relationship, you could get into a creative project or have children.
So I wanted to add to this a little bit, just from the perspective. So you were talking about karma, clearing karma in the day-to-day in health back in Taurus. And then now we're talking about it again in Scorpio. So I have my moon in Taurus and my rising in Scorpio. And so what I think is interesting about this, that I can speak to for me personally, that may relate to somebody else, is that I have noticed within me, so karma clearing is happening, and I can point to different areas where that's occurring. But I'm also noticing there's certain areas of my body that are affected right now, and so much so that I'm feeling the need to seek outside guidance. Like I literally just made an appointment today with my chiropractor. So so I think for anyone who's in this position in Taurus or Scorpio, particularly Scorpio, it feels like because
Scorpio ruled by Mars.
Yeah.
So you may have worked too hard when Mars was in Capricorn.
Oh, and that's a good point.
Yeah. And so now your body has taken up the stress of it, or absorbed the unhealthy toxicity around that.
Yeah.
So yes, excellent. So you are sort of health issues could very well come up that show you where you've been out of balance.
Yes. And taking, and this could be a day-to-day shift, but it may not be. Like it may be something where you just need to address it during this time period while you have the cosmic support, the lunar support to do it. And then it's done.
Yes.
Because it's a karma clearing.
Yes, because that's why the 12th and 6th house axis exists, because a lot of our karma clearing we play out in our physical body, in our health. Mm-hmm. And it shows up in health. And so if you're going more spiritual and more faith-based in your Mars energy and your action, your day-to-day, which is Scorpio ruled, you're going to heal up that health issue. So in other words, you're going to shift to a more balanced way of living, which is more like spiritual, because Libra, you're going to take a more spiritual approach, which is to meditate more, go calm more, but still learn how to work and go forward without this sort of stress, fear-based action behind it. So there's very much a leveling of calm and peace coming into your psyche. You know what I mean?
It feels like inner and outer world balance.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I like how you did that.
Right.
Letting go of, that's in your headspace. The World card, there's that karma clearing card. So in other words, letting go of your head thinking and trusting and working in a way, like trusting that, because this is day-to-day energy, so it is work. So trusting that your work, you're attracting abundance in your work, trusting it, being in your power, which is really all the energy is balanced. And that water energy is letting go of the head-driven, Mars-driven mentality and becoming more attractive abundantly through working on your energies. Being healthy. There's the health there too. Yeah. Because health represents where our energies are out of whack, where we're blocking abundance. So you become more abundant that way, working on yourself. 12th house, kind of working on yourself. Interesting, huh?
It is. It's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. We want to move on to Sag. All right. Sagittarius.
Okay, Saggies, you have Aries in your fifth house. That's a nice place to have Aries. Aries is taking bold creative projects. And then Libra is going to be in your 11th house. So friendship, romantic partnership, or work relationship comes in that takes a creative, or you have a child, or you go onto a creative project that goes forward. Pisces in your fourth house, always possible that something's shifting and more magical miracles are coming around home, living life. Maybe I'm thinking of my son, for instance. He is Sagittarius, and he is definitely working with people right now, new people that will turn into contracts that are creative, because he's a musician. Pisces are very musicals. Jupiter is Sagittarius is Jupiter ruled. Your planets right now in the most magical energies. So you're going to have incredible good luck around a new partnership that will be most likely contracted, that turns action and activation and inspiration around a creative project. And you possibly work at home, or like he may change living situation into a place where he can have a studio at home. But he'll be able to afford it because Jupiter is in a really, really good blessed energies. Don't forget, we've got these blessed energies going on.
Yeah.
So a relationship from the past. Let's pull some cards for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we get Knight of Pentacles, which is great. Things are progressing in a way that you really want, because we get a more balanced, again, something that felt sort of stuck is now hope. Lovers, divine lovers, Tower cards, surprising. I thought the Tower card would come up because this is surprise communication from the 11th house, which is friends. So maybe Sagittarians knew people, and through social media or through friends group, they meet somebody, or a person from the past returns, and the situation, they may have had fears of commitment. You may have had fears of commitment, but there's hope around this, and it's something you truly want. There's that fire sign, that wand sign, passionate, creative. So, and lovers. So it's like, it could involve lovers. Libra is going to involve romantic love. I mean, it just is. It's the seventh house of relationship. So it's one of the aspects of Libra is romance. So that looks great for Sagittarians, because they've got that Aries in the fifth house, the sun in their fifth house. And don't forget, we're going to have a bunch of planets in May. All these planets, except for Neptune, are going to move into Aries next month, which is going to be wow.
This will be interesting how this plays out for you, since you're a Sagittarius.
I know. And I'm a moon Pisces. So I've got a lot of Jupiter ruled planets. And yes, it's very interesting, because I have Venus on my ascent on my MC right now. So it's like career initiations, or career projects involving divine mates, or true love, or a love relationship. So Capricorn.
My love relationship in Capricorn.
That's right.
Love relationships. Yeah.
All righty. Capricorn have Pisces in the third house. So there's going to be communication blessings coming in. Third house, communication, small business, entrepreneurial. Aries is in the first house, and bold action, movement towards property, real estate, family, starting a family. Libra in the 10th house. So a career related contract with somebody. Let's pull some cards for Capricorn. A career, a contract that expands your career involving a relationship. You could go into co-partnership with someone over something, over possibly like a property. You may sign a contract with someone that you have a relationship with over a property. I'm getting the business card here, that small business. Could get into a small business. Capricorn, what else? We're looking at Libra in the 10th. Aries is in your 4th. So career, family, access is being activated. Wow, look at this. Hope around a home project, or with family, waking up to a spiritual prospect, or small business. There's a small business card, or union, mission with your true person. Libra, contracting, but there's a home thing. You could get in, there could be move. You could move with Aries in the 4th house, with the sun in the 4th house, something expanding in your living situation. And this is a very abundant living situation. So you could have an upgrade in living, finances come in around a career, a work thing that gives you a lot of hope, that makes you realize you can spend more money at a home. But again, this is going to involve, there's going to be a link between career and home and family. And there's a lot of hope around this. There's going to be enthusiasm and excitement because it's going to open a door, open up for opportunities. There's that abundance card came through. You may buy, he could buy a piece of property that, or invest in property that he then writes a contract with, or goes into a piece of property to share with somebody that then upgrades the relationship. You could go move in with somebody, you live with that person, you upgrade, then you work on the house together, you create a business at the house together, or your mission, you work together at the mission, all that kind of stuff.
Is it mostly home related, or is it home in regard to like where your family is, or where your, how would you describe that?
You could do both. Like you could suddenly start a family and move into a house and then make your family, like, because what do they have in the fifth house, Capricorn? Capricorn have Taurus in the fifth house. Wow. They could very well get into a child. You could have a child, but you could start a family very much during this period, Capricorn. And it could be family because the fourth house is family. So a new family, action towards a new family. Remember, Mars being in Pisces and Mars ruling Aries is going to be spiritually true. It's going to be what you really want. You're going to feel it. It's what you truly desire. And it could really start desiring a real family. Like you really want the family. You don't want you don't want just the sort of relationship. You want a family relationship that's going to build, that's going to last. And then Libra, you contracted, involving probably signing a contract with your spouse over a property or a career, business. You make a contract with spouse or your spouse who is already contracted because you marrying them. You could get married. And so you sign a contract, and then 10th house can also just be Capricorn, which can be just super committed.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like too, that's also so much, it's connected so much to your career.
Yes.
It's so much. So it's got to be a conflict. Combination.
Yeah, because a lot of relationships, if you're in a healthy relationship, it's really not healthy if you don't have a co-project or a co-mission, because otherwise you just stare at each other and twiddle each other's thumbs and look at each other and see what's wrong with each other.
That's true. If you're doing something together, you're focused on that thing versus what's wrong with the other person.
Yeah. You're supposed to be in a relationship. We're really designed to come together with someone to create expansion and improve the world. That's the point of the feminine and masculine together, is to work together to create expansion and abundance. So career or committed or contracted situations that expand your situation. But family is a big one because the Libra is right there. Aries is in the family side, but career, we really are signing or committing to something quite serious.
Yeah. All right. We want to go on to, wait a minute. Hold on. I forgot to change the card. Let me change it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, everyone. Like now we're really where we need to be. So
okay, good. Aquarius. All righty. So Aquarians, let's pull some cards for you. Aquarians have Saturn in their sign, which is interesting. So, it comes with some challenges, but it's aligning you to go the right way. There's these earth signs here for Aquarius. So Aries is in your third house and Libra's in your ninth. Possible travel. There's kind of a travel energy here.
Yeah.
Opening up a belief system again, but possibly traveling with your spouse. And Aries in the third house is communications, short distance travel versus long distance travel. Also, third house is busy energy. Having the sun in your third house is quite busy communicating, emailing. And then with Libra in your ninth house, it's possible you join a course, you start teaching, you collaborate with your spouse, and because Aries in the third house communicating, Aquarius is very much out in the people, very social. You shift a career where you start talking and communicating online and teaching something, because Libra is also the ninth house is teaching. So Aquarius could very well start a course, sign a contract for a course. But Libra, let's see what that's saying. But again, you see, we're going into more passionate. This is that Aries energy, inspiring. You're very inspired about it. And it does pull you out of a stuck energy, because that Saturn on your ascendant is kind of made you felt very stuck. Mars was on Saturn. So things felt really stuck. So now there's like an awareness that there's a financial opportunity that's inspiring you and opening up for travel. So, or teaching or learning or higher consciousness, but it's all around Libra energy, is all around signing contracts with someone, or you could get married to someone from another culture. You could meet somebody from another culture, or traveling. If you're traveling, Aquarius, you might meet your person. You may fall in love with someone from another culture. And then Aries is, you might be doing very busy short distance traveling, and you meet somebody and, they're from a different culture, or you're traveling. But also higher consciousness. You may, if you're like Libra, over the ninth house is law. So you may get involved in law, or you may get involved in a cause that you're very passionate about, that helps justice or helps the law world. Like you could get involved in a lawsuit that helps the world, and you're very passionate about it, and you have to do a lot of writing, and you're very fired up about it and talking about it. Raising consciousness. I was reading for a judge actually the other day. They have a lot of planets in Libra over their ninth house. They're Aquarius, and she is. Yeah. And
how interesting.
Yeah, she's very fascinating. And she literally is starting lobbying new laws for advocating for the mentally challenged.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, she's raising consciousness around mentally challenged, and she has Libra over her ninth house. So, you could get into a lawsuit, but full moon Libra, I think it's going to be good, because you're going to see the balance, and a fair result comes. If you're in a lawsuit, there's going to be a fair result.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but Aries, you're transiting your third house, is a lot of communication, busy time, emailing and writing and all that kind of stuff. So you might be busy dealing with this.
But it'll all be okay.
Yes, it will balance out the just result, because Libra is always, 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 always the best result. It's the balanced resolve.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to wrap up our
Pisces, who are having magical energies right now with everything, all the stellium on their first house. It's ruled by Jupiter and Neptune and Jupiter are in very strong standing right now in their own rulership. So Venus is in its exaltation in your sign. So Libra, 8th house, Aries, 2nd house, good for money. 8th house, you could get funding from outside sources. You could get a loan. If you're in debt, you could find a way or balanced way out. You'll also see where you're out of balance in your spending. You'll also possibly take actions in a new way of earning money. Libra, the 8th house, is also passionate sex. The 2nd house is also ruled by Venus. Usually it's a Venus ruled house. So you're going to have Mars rules your 2nd house. It's possible you get into a very passionate, sexually involved, true love, the one type situation. Let's see. Oh, transformation. Oh, true love coming in for Pisces. True love, a transforming situation, a situation with possibly a past person is transformed. It is true love. It becomes safe. You realize they just had walls up, things moving, energy coming in, very, Tower card coming in. Again, I think that Pisces are going to become involved in new ways of earning an income that do again involve a contracted person. Relationships, you could sign a contract with somebody that you then work for, and they fund a creative project of yours. Because Taurus is like, I'm thinking of my son who's ascendant Pisces, who is coming in to probably get into a contracted situation where somebody's funding his project. But also he could get into a relationship from somebody who could be Libra, or somebody through the past. I would say a deep connection, very strong, deep connection that's very sexual, very passionate. So So for everybody, I mean, just to sort of cap it, so Aries, and there might be taking a lot of action, Sun in their second house, taking a lot of motivations and shall we say, instigations towards this new beginning in financial earnings that involves contracted partnerships. I'm Moon Pisces, and I can see where this is sort of happening with me because I'm involved now. I just told this woman, because I read her chart, that she would do very well with this. Well, she ended up doing very well with it. And now she wants to sort of partner up with me to do more retreats. So, you know, we're going to probably use outside funding for that. So that's kind of really resonates with my moon right now. And, you know, so, and moon is, you know, feminine. It's what's my intuitive gift is anyway. So it's going to be your intuitive, it's going to be what you love very much for Pisces, because Pisces are already very lofty people and already very connected to what they soul want anyway. That's why they're sort of hard to pin down and hard to push around and hard to make work hard, because they're really truly connected people, much more so. Some people think Pisces are lazy, but really what they are is receiving, and they need downtime to do that. So wow, ending Tower's coming up. So ending.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Taurus
That tower is just really
it's crazy, huh?
active.
That's that Pluto squaring. I think that Mercury conjunct Uranus and this full moon squaring Pluto. But it's a good one because what's towering is all this stuff that's out of alignment and confusing. Pisces can be kind of, whoa, they can kind of tell negative stories and be kind of in funks a lot. I've worked with Pisces. I'm constantly trying to get them out of their stress mind place in a weird way, because they're so spiritual that in their headspace, they just go to dark places. But so they're going to have clarity as to what relationships to end. And Libra, for everybody, even though Libra is relationships, Aries, Libra is the access in everybody for all of this, which is egoistic based choice relationships coming down. And it can be in a relationship for work. It can be any relationship that you sign a contract. You could have a lawyer that you fire. You realize they're not good. Information could come through that you know you don't want to work with that lawyer anymore. And that you're ending stuff. There's going to be endings. Because the 8th house is very much about that. It's death and rebirth, the 8th house. That's why the death card comes up for the 8th house, which is transformations. So yeah, full moon in your 8th house, you know, somebody could pass, a mother, a relative, or somebody, it's possible, you know. You'll probably know it's build up. You could tell that person was on their way out. Mm-hmm. But some kind of a contract, you could get an inheritance, some kind of a contract. I'm seeing 111 in my time. Some kind of a contract, though, could secure outside finances, but also a relationship, a deep, passionate relationship could start. So there it is, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the key takeaways I have from all of the different signs is just the relationship shifts that are going to be taking place, not just with your personal intimate ones, but business ones too, the contractual ones that seem to be Libra related.
Right. And like, for instance, also for Pisces, they could sign a contract. Let's say they get into a relationship, they could sign a contract and get funding for a home project, because you're going to be, you know, what's in the 4th house? You've got Gemini in the 4th, but what's Taurus? Where's Taurus? Taurus is in 3rd house, Scorpio 9th house. You could travel. But anyway, you could sign a contract with a loved one and secure outside funding for a loan. You go together and your credit together makes it able for you to fund this loan that you can then, you know, possibly invest in something and then take more bold actions over a project that's a different, earning your money in a different way.
I was kind of speaking to Pisces is certainly one of it, but I was kind of saying just overarchingly, it seems that's the theme for everyone on some level.
Is the planet of close personal contract or relationships. Aries is the opposite. It's selfish. It's ego motive. It's the most material of the signs, the most focused on the material. So it's like you're going to, and anytime you get a full moon, you're having an opposition. And if you're studying your chart, you're going to learn that every time you have an opposition in your chart, you usually get into some kind of a conflict or some kind of an out of balance situation that has to be balanced. And usually oppositions are tough. And they usually involve an argument. And with this Mercury conjuncting Uranus, surprising information that can trigger you, you could get into arguments, but the situation becomes balanced out. You either leave, go separate ways, or contract together in a way that takes your abundance forward in commissioning and expanding the world in a way that is good for all.
There we go. Close the book.
Yeah. And we're doing it better every time. We're getting it in without, usually it's an hour and a half, and today we're at an hour and 15. So we whizzed along here.
Yeah.
And even if I don't get everything, all the possibilities, at least when you're watching this, what houses these are happening for you. And you can always go online and read about those houses.
Yeah.
And when you read about those houses, like your fourth house, just go read about the fourth house and then know you have a full moon in the fourth house, which is going to bring some kind of a shift and change and materialization in that house.
That's so true. That's great. That's a great tip.
Yeah, it's so simple. It sounds confusing. I try to tell everybody it's so simple.
Well, all right. So Madelaine, if anyone wants to do a read with you, you want to give them a quick rundown on how they can find you?
Yes, contact me through MadelaineParker111@gmail.com. I also have an Instagram, MadelaineParkerInsta. I have my scheduling app link there. You can check on, contact me. I look at your chart, I pull cards, I look at your transits, and we go into anything that you're going through, issues, resolve them, help you through them. And I'm also starting these retreats. So if you want to know any more information and to join a retreat, please let me know. They're going to be fabulous. We're going to do an astrology retreat. So we're going to pull your cards, we'll pull your charts, everybody's charts. We have sort of group sessions, then everybody gets one-on-one sessions. We're going to teach astrology. Knowing your chart is like knowing yourself. You can't know enough about yourself.
Yeah. It's true. So true. Good stuff. So if anyone's looking to reach out. Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to suggest if you want to hold a retreat, what you might want to think about, because what we're doing is we're renting Airbnbs and then we advertise it. And if you get bookings, then you go through with it. But if you rent an Airbnb, you have a cancellation period. You might want to try it. You might want to think about starting a retreat, and I'll come and stay and visit and help and do it.
Yay. How fun would that be?
Think about
we're going to plant that seed and see what sprouts. Yeah, that would be super fun. So who knows, there might be a retreat on the horizon with Madelaine and myself for folks that they might think that was super fun. But for folks who want to find me, it's KarmicKindness.com, or you can reach me at hello@KarmicKindness.com. I'm pretty much everywhere. Follow me on social media at Karmic Kindness. And if you are looking for any sort of relationship support, and that might be coming up right now for folks where you really are looking to understand relationships better, looking for relationship support. And, I've somewhat changed the labeling of what I'm offering. And I've switched it under the moniker of karmic coaching, because what I realize that I do is I'm really helping people move through these karmic patterns that reveal themselves, and they get to a point where it's like they're right in your face. You can no longer ignore them, and it's time to find a way to you have the awareness. Then what do you do? And so I look at different spiritual sciences to help people really move beyond those things that are keeping them still or keeping them in this place that doesn't feel good.
That's really great, because everything that we really go through that's challenging is pretty much karma. I mean, we really are just here to clear our karma. So you may as well put it all on karma, because it's so true. I mean,
So all right. Well, again, Madelaine, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who
thank you, Amalia, so much for having me and doing this regularly. Of course.
Yeah, and we will see you all here in 2 weeks. I think the one in 2 weeks is going to be a big one.
Oh yeah, we will have had that eclipse, and Mars will. we're gonna have a lot more fiery energies to talk about. So quite the opposite.
Yeah. So please do come back and see us in a couple of weeks. We'll be talking about the dynamic shifts that are taking place, eclipse energy, big stuff. All right. So we will sign off for now.
Bye, everybody.